Hey, Juventini, welcome back to the All Juve Cast channel, where it's all Juve all the time. I'm Alberto, and I'm here to bring you yet another installment of a tactical breakdown. This one ahead of our Champions League match against Malmo coming up tomorrow. Now, we'll get straight to the slides here, and we're going to basically show you the last match between Juventus and Malmo and how Juventus basically dominated that match and how they can do it again, regardless of rotation, which we should expect in this match, especially with the importance of every single Serie A match moving forward. So, without further ado, let's get straight to the slides and look at Malmo, what they do, and how Juve can continue to punish them like they did in the first match here. So, we're going to take a look at this first opening. Now, Malmo, despite playing with five at the back, get very, very sloppy. Okay. They like to keep three always at the back and usually straight line, very, very flat between their three CBs. Now, the issue with that is there's no cleanup, and Juventus took advantage of it a lot in the first matchup. You always leave a forward high, and that basically freezes their three defenders. But again, with no cleanup guy there and them not really ever getting goal side of that attacker, we went over the top quite a bit. And here's a very, very early opportunity where Paulo Dybala was sent in over the top. He unfortunately got this one wrong and went over the goal there. But again, just one of the scenarios we took advantage of in the matchup. Now, here you have it again, forwards high. And another thing, when you have a team that likes to play five across the back, you need to commit men forward. Juventus did a fantastic job of doing that in the first matchup. We always had around five players in that area attacking. Now, here you have a scenario again, forwards high, leaving those defenders frozen. There are options here. You can have a player run into the space because, again, Malmo, they're frozen here on the outsides, and it's basically the three CBs left there, but it presents very close to a man-to-man scenario here as the midfielders usually hold their line above, and that gives a space in between the defense and the midfield to work. With these wing backs getting frozen to the outside, you can see despite Malmo playing five at the back, there is a lot of space and opportunity for Juventus to create a lot of different options on how to play. This particular scenario, we actually go back with the ball, swing it out wide to Quadrado. And at this point, with them running backwards, and again, we talk about committing men forward. So one, two, three, four, five Juventus players. The ball movement was great in this first match too, because the cross comes in very, very quickly as Malmo's running backwards, and that's very hard to track. And then when you get to it in the area here, one Juve player, two, three, four, and four Malmo defenders. It's very, very easy to lose your mark. Here you have two start to go to the first player, which looks like might get to that ball, but it goes behind him, and Sandro's able to capitalize. Still one of the wildest headers as he's almost kissing the turf there, but there's your 1-0 from Juventus against Malmo there. Now, we'll carry on and look at more opportunities. Here you have a long stretch pass coming from the back, and again, they're very, very sloppy at the back, regardless of playing five there. There's a lot of space to attack, and the over the ball play is always there. Here, Sandro runs onto it, fantastic. And he doesn't miss by much. That was almost your 2-0, almost immediately after scoring the first goal. So, over the ball, again, continue to pin them back and push them backwards. The over the top balls will be important. And we should note that Bonucci will be in the lineup. It looks like after a little bit of rest there, he's going to be back in this one, and I agree with that. We're going to rotate. We should be preserving Chiellini, and Bonucci is somewhat of an Iron Man. Put him in there, and all of a sudden you open up the aerial balls again against Malmo to punish them. Now, here you have one coming from your midfield, and again, one forward always on the back line. They and here this shows you exactly with the midfield what happens as well. You have quite a nice pocket of space between the defense and the midfielders to break the lines if you wanted to. But again, they leave a ton of space at the back, and they're so susceptible to over the top. And we did just that. And this one, unfortunately, gets stopped by the keeper, who does well to come out on Morata there. Now, again, with their defenders getting frozen, wing backs usually getting caught if you come up with width. Again, committing men forward. Juventus does the right things when you freeze them with a forward, like I said, and you freeze them with your fullbacks. There's a wing back stuck there. You open up areas of 1v1 scenarios. Here you have another forward. Here you have a midfielder coming up. Only two defenders to take them. 1v1 for each of them. Give and goes in play. Give and goes in play. And again, despite five at the back, look at the areas that you can attack with space as they get stretched out. And there's a lot of options for the other guys to get involved too, like this forward making a run in. A lot of interplay can be done against Malmo despite them playing five at the back. It's just very, very sloppy. We have to be serious. Even with a heavy rotation in this game, Juventus should be able to really take it to this opponent. Here you have a quick 1-2, and Locatelli becomes the one in space here. He has it going. Unfortunately, he went wide with this attempt, but it's there for Juventus for the taking. So again, usually teams that play these five against the back, it's very, very hard to create that kind of space in the area in prime scenarios. Against Malmo, it's not that difficult. So here, yet again, another example of them not having a cleanup guy and just wanting to play flat at the back. They're caught again over the top. This one ends up with Morata shielding in the area, and we draw the PK. So ref calls PK. Dybala steps up. He actually buries this one. Okay, that's your 2-0 goal for Juventus. And then here, again, just sending bodies forward quickly in transition. Wingbacks caught up the pitch. 3 CBs here. So this wingback is caught up. The ball will come off this aerial, land at Rabiot there, and he just plays it forward into space. And again, you have 2 Juve players and 2 defenders there. Here's the third marking Rabiot. You create these man-to-man scenarios, and there's a ton of possibilities and space to work with. This one falls through to Morata. Morata does a great job finishing this one. Okay, so again, you've seen everything that Malmo does, despite playing 5 across the back, a lot of space available. They're susceptible to aerials. We have to move the ball quickly. There's always a lot of space to break the lines between that defensive line that they put up, which is always flat, and their midfielders. They're very, very sloppy. They get lost in marking quite a bit. We move the ball quickly, are not afraid to commit men forward. We should have a pretty straightforward match here, win the game, move on to the weekend in Serie A. Now, last but not least, with them liking to keep those 3 men flat there, you can also create areas of creation by taking advantage of everywhere that you get those man-to-man marking scenarios. So here you have the ball getting in deep. Quadrado's got a ton of space there. Ball will come out to Quadrado. And with the 2 defenders occupied there, Dybala slides over, and then he's got a little scenario once he's got the ball, 1v1 with the man in front of him. He actually works it to his left and has a great hit, stopped by the keeper there. Here you have another scenario after a turnover, moving the ball very, very quickly. And again, Juventus having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in transition and attack here. Here, great quick pass from Kulusevski, and they're just caught man to man. This one defender here was going to be running towards Kulusevski. The other 2 caught flat-footed, and Keane just rolls right by, and the keeper makes a really, really big save here. So there you really have it as far as how Juventus can continue to just punish them, is do exactly what you did in the first one. Hold your striker right on the last line of defense. Push them back through aerial balls. If they want to drop back even deeper, they leave a gap between their back line and their midfielders so you can break the lines in that manner. The 3 at the back, as long as your 9 keeps them pinned, you will be able to create 1v1 scenarios by sending bodies forward and working the flanks. So again, regardless of how they choose to play this one through Malmo's side, there's going to be a lot of opportunities for Juventus to punish them regardless of rotation. this is a straightforward matchup. I expect Juventus to come out foot on the throttle. Um, Top of the group is probably unlikely based on the goal differential that took place between the Chelsea head to head. Chelsea will face Zenit away from home. They win, they've got top in the group. If they don't and slip up by some chance and Juventus wins this one, we would take top of the group as we're tied right now. But Chelsea holds a tiebreak on head-to-head goal differential. Okay, so for Juventus, go out there, don't kill yourself, get a rotation in there because right now the Serie A matches are crucial and critical. We must win all those. Go out there, get a rotation, and get some guys minutes that they need. But regardless of that, you'll be able to take the game to Malmo, and I fully expect that to happen. I'd be surprised if Malmo is able to muster a goal in this one. If they did, I would probably expect it to be off some type of set piece or perhaps drawing a PK. Otherwise, we really only held them to aerial balls, and they were half chances at best. Okay, and they only had a few, so they don't pose a lot of threat to us in terms of attacking, regardless of even Rugani being on the pitch. And Juventus, regardless of rotation, will have enough quality to really put them to the sword. And I fully expect that. Hope you enjoyed this tactical breakdown. Don't forget, tomorrow is match day. We'll be live at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time with a match day live. And then the following morning, same time with the post-match podcast recapping the match and going through all the storylines that came out of it and look ahead to the weekend's matchup. Till then, fino alla fine, forza Juventus. Ciao.